Hi, welcome back. My name is Judith. I am one half of the Nutty Nitty Sisters. Together with my sister Julie, we create videos sharing our love of all things fibery and the fiber arts. If this is your first time viewing one of our videos, welcome. Definitely appreciate you taking a look. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back time and time again. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider clicking the subscribe button. It doesn't cost anything, and we would love for you to join our fiber community. If you enjoy the video, please also give it a thumbs up, and that helps us spread our joy of the fibery things. Today is day 8 of the Yarn Stash Restash, hosted by Anne Frost of I Thought I Knew How podcast. It is a gentle 2-week approach to reviewing and reorganizing all your fiber related tools, your fiber, your yarn, all of the fibery things. And we have been busy. Today was a little bit bigger day. The last few days have been fairly light duty for me because I don't have a lot of needles. I tend to be loyal to just a few. But we have come up to the day where we are now looking at our paper patterns and our book patterns. So anything that you have that's a tangible pattern. So one part of this was fairly easy for me. This is my binder of paper patterns. Anytime I receive a paper pattern, whether it is at a yarn store or a gift from someone, I always check Ravelry and make sure that I add it to my Ravelry library. I do a lot of searching on Ravelry according to the yarn that I have on hand for the perfect project to go with it. So whenever I receive a paper pattern, it goes in this binder and it also goes in my Ravelry library. If it's something that I can get on Ravelry, downloadable, it's a free pattern, I usually won't actually keep the paper pattern. These are patterns that were given or gifted that don't appear to be a free pattern on Ravelry. So this was fairly easy. I do have it organized with little tabs. There's hats. The tabs kind of fall under some of these page protectors, but there's mitts, scarves, sweaters, blankets, socks. So it's all kind of organized by category and pattern type. So that is where I keep all of the paper patterns that I can't get elsewhere online. There are a few exceptions that aren't in this binder. Those exceptions are larger collections of patterns. Usually these are like this one I got at Yard Goods during the yarn cruise. So usually these are more like a magazine or a pamphlet, and it has multiple patterns in it. This one's gorgeous. And this one. So yeah, these are patterns that have multiple, or pamphlets that have multiple patterns in them. This one has some socks. So it's just a little bit too bulky to put in the binder, and I consider it more like a magazine. So that goes in the shelf. I did do a little bit of weeding out and reorganized or recategorized some of my books. I have a bookshelf in the living room with my cookbooks and the kids' books and my fiction books that I like to keep all my patterns in. So I really wanted that binder to go in that book nook with the rest of my book patterns. So I made some decisions and I got rid of 4 old crochet Afghan books. I don't crochet a whole lot. I had a lot more than that. I had a ton of crochet books. I kept several of my very favorites. Here are a couple. This is one that is scrap Afghans. So it has a lot of patterns that are more for scrappy type of Afghans. And that's really what I have most of is scraps for my acrylics. So this is something that will be nice to use up that scrap of acrylic. And then the other one is another one. I think I kept 4 or 5. This one is an easy weekend Afghans. So this is, again, something that's fairly quick and easy. Not quite as scrappy as the other ones, but it's something that can be done up quickly. I like to knit blankets for charity. I haven't been as active as I was in the past, so this is going to come in handy when I get active with that again. Some other things that I kept, I have a couple of these John Arbon annuals that Julie has given me. And although they are more like a magazine, they do have some lovely patterns in them as well. So I'm keeping them in with my pattern selection. And then, of course, I have regular books, big pattern books. This is one of my favorites. I haven't knit anything out of this, but I would like to very soon. This is the Knitting the National Parks by Nancy Bates, and I would absolutely love to knit every hat in this book someday. I also have a lot of Harry Potter crochet and knit books. So there's several big collections like this that I hung on to. So the other thing I did was I kind of split apart my library. I considered the bookshelf in the living room to be pattern type library, and then there's a shelf in my closet that I cleared off that I am considering a resource book library, and that has things like several spin-off magazines. I haven't even cracked the spine of these magazines. Several of them I got at a fiber festival. This one's from 1999, and this one is from 2002. And then I do have last fall's edition as well. And I think these will be good resources to go back to when I'm looking at a specific type of technique for my spinning craft. So those are being kept as a resource. And then I also have Yarn a Texture. It is a great resource for looking to spin the wool, the type of wool that you really, really want. So it has some references to different techniques like chain plying. It also has references based on certain fiber content. There are some great patterns in here as well. But it's a very good resource for spinning different yarns. I have my fiber and fleece source book. I think that's what it's called. Several of those spinning resource manuals. And then I have a couple stitch dictionaries. This one in particular, a friend from work gave to me. And then I have another one that I found at, I believe it was a Goodwill. It might have been online. But they're more of a resource thing and not something that I'm going to go and look for inspiration for patterns, but more something that I'm going to be looking for techniques or guidance on. And last but not least, I have several different journals or record keeping books. This one, for example, is my diamond painting logbook, and it just has everything to know about the diamond painting paints, canvases and things that I have gotten over the years. That one happened to be one that was I actually completed. There are some in here that are not completed, but it's just a journal, a record of all of my diamond paints. And then this little gem is all of my rantings and ramblings about Tour de Fleece. Yeah, Tour de Fleece. So there's some results from, I think that was 2020. There's schedules, just all kinds of information about my Tour de Fleece journey. And then one that unfortunately I have gotten by the wayside, and my one and only resolution, fiber-related resolution for 2024, is to get back in the habit of journaling my projects. I love this journal. It's kind of a junk journal and has all kinds of fiber samples. and photos and inspiration and information about projects that I've done in the past. I think I might have put 2 or 3 projects. Here's one that's not even completed. It's just got the pictures. So I want to get back in the habit of journaling my my makes, because sometimes you fall out of love of a particular garment, or you decide to gift it and then the record is gone. So with this, I can kind of hang on to a little piece of a garment that I've made and look back on my creativity journey. So that is all of my books. That is how I have organized them. I would love to hear how you organize your books. Are there resources, books, or patterns that you absolutely love and you can't live without, that you hang on to like they're a security blanket? Are there other ways that you hang on to tangible items like this in a virtual way that would make life a little easier than having several bookshelves through your house? Please, let's have a conversation about it in the comments. I would love to hear what you do. I would love to share ideas and get the conversation going about books and patterns. I have no idea what's in store for tomorrow. I'm enjoying not knowing. I have done this yarn stash restash for 4 years, but I forget what 14 days worth of stuff was, and I'm being very diligent about not looking ahead so that I'm only doing what's required of me every day. Otherwise, I'll be tempted to try to cheat and get ahead of the schedule. So I'm being very good about only making sure I'm doing the task that's prompted. So I don't know what tomorrow's going to bring, but I hope you will join me to find out. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time. Bye.